In order to begin to explain the One Belt, One Road initiative, we have to state the fact that this is the most ambitious infrastructure project in modern history that's designed to reroute global trade, having an estimated investment of $4 to $8 trillion, looking to connect 3 continents and touching about 60% of world's population. That is how China plans to become the world's next superpower. The first concepts used to describe the initiative were given by China's President Xi Jinping back in 2013, when he referred to the project as a modern Silk Road, which was a trade route between the East and the West involving Europe, Africa, and Asia, when fabric was long produced only in China. President Xi initially mentioned the concepts of economic belt and maritime Silk Road as a first attempt to describe the 2 components of the plan and his legacy project. There is an overland economic belt of 6 corridors that serve as a new route to take goods in and out of China. The first corridor is currently the most developed one, represented with a 1+4 cooperation structure, 1 being the economic corridor and 4 representing the pillars: water, port, energy, infrastructure, and industrial collaboration. The first corridor involves big infrastructure projects like railways, power plants, natural gas pipelines, hydropower projects, wind farm, airport, expressways, and a motorway. Pakistan was chosen as the first investment for the Silk Road Fund with a $1.65 billion budget. The second corridor involves China, Bangladesh, India, and Myanmar, and its purpose is to create a thriving economic belt, focusing on cross-border transport, energy, and telecommunications network. India will benefit in terms of the development of the Kolkata port and the opening of the economic potential of the northeast states, and Bangladesh could become one of the major energy exporting countries. The third is the new Eurasia Land Bridge Economic Corridor, involving Central Asia, Russia, and the Baltic, pretending to enhance partnership and mutual benefit from the main communities in China, Russia, and Kazakhstan. To today, the Belgrade-Stara-Pazova section of the Hungary-Serbia Railway was started, and the Western China-Western European International Expressway connecting Western China, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Western Europe has been basically completed. The fourth corridor, China, Mongolia, Russia. They have made positive efforts to build a cross-border infrastructure connectivity network consisting mainly on railways, highways, and border ports. China completed its section of railway bridge in October 2018. Construction of the road bridge between China and Russia is progressing smoothly now, and a China-Russia enterprise consortium has basically completed the preliminary design of the Kazan-Moscow high-speed railway project. The fifth one is between China, Central Asia, West Asia, in which cooperation has advanced in energy, infrastructure connectivity, economy, trade, and production capacity. China's bilateral agreement on international road transport with Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkey, and other countries, as well as multilateral agreements on international road transport, has been successfully signed. The infrastructure construction in Central Asia and West Asia has been constantly improved, and China and Iran have worked together in various fields and are improving their combined forces in the field of roads, infrastructure, and energy. And last but not least, the China-Indonesian Peninsula Corridor, with a high-speed train network and already completed railways between China-Laos and advanced construction on Kunming-Bangkok and the China-Thailand. So far, over 60 countries have reportedly signed agreements with China for these projects, and the list is growing because of China's strategy of promoting it as a win-win. The second part of the plan is the Maritime Silk Road, which is a complex maritime network of seaports stretching from South China towards Southeast Asia, making through Africa, and finally getting into the European continent. Some countries have expressed their opinions about the project. On one hand, there is a concern coming from the USA with regards of the OBOR initiative. More specifically, they argue that China has further intentions with this project, as they do not only focus on the infrastructure support and loan support for ports, airports, and roads, but they are also looking for placing strategic military position, which will make their military capabilities continue to grow as they invest heavily in developing and fielding advanced weapons. Also, some European countries have claimed to be against the project due to the transparency and the environmental issues. And on the other hand, countries like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan have given their support to the initiative. It is important to mention India's situation in the project regarding the second corridor, since the country and its territory constitutes a very important part of the project, being located through which one of the corridors will pass. It should therefore have agreed to make part of the project, but the country has expressed its inconformity and has not agreed with BRI for matters of transparency. But also because the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor runs through Kashmir, a Pakistan-occupied territory that India claims belongs to them, and will therefore constitute a violation of Indian sovereignty. India has also expressed huge concern about the ethnic insurgencies, terrorism, drug trafficking, the spread of HIV infections, smuggling, and cross-border human trafficking, situations that can arise from the project. Due to this, the Chinese Foreign Ministry's website have not listed the second corridor as a project covered by the BRI. Through the analysis of the information, we determined some pros and cons regarding this project. Some of the pros are that it is designed to open up new markets for Chinese goods and technology. China would also be able to move factories overseas to more or less developed countries. The project plan under the initiative could increase employment of construction personnel and trade personnel, and provide necessary infrastructure for the movement of trade. Furthermore, the exchange of ideas, information, and technology among the countries will be enhanced. Also, the lowering of cost of transporting goods to countries and availability of better infrastructure. Regarding the cons, the regional connectivity corridor could trespass sovereignty of nations. There is also a common fear that China may control national resources, as some believe it did in the past. Also, some negative results are predictable, especially when people, local population, who are attached to their culture and tradition, religions and languages, feel imprudent because the development does not take into account their cultural sensitivities. Environmental pollution may result as infrastructure projects could displace communities that lie in the way of the belt and the road. Not to mention ocean pollution, which can be disastrous to marine life. Problems may abound in relation to the territorial and maritime issues. Political disagreements between countries that lie along the corridor can push back the project timeline. So what concerns about international relations? The OBOR initiative has many confronted positions. On one hand, the project is seen as an opportunity to open new markets in developing countries through works of infrastructure, which is naturally an international relations issue. Also, increasing the GDP of these countries is one of the objectives expressed by the Chinese government as they promote the win-win campaign. On the other hand, critics have described the plan as a neo-colonialism model that involves implicit liberalization of countries' markets, which will facilitate foreign investment of Chinese companies. Other points of view sees the OBOR as a strategy to enhance China's military power outside its border. This was China's initiative, One Belt, One Road.